Hey, it's Llama.
And Llama made it.
Yeah, man, what's up?
This is a post-show recap. Holy shit, guys. What a fucking show. How's everybody doing? What'd you guys think? Overall.
Nice.
I think the show. I think the show started at Tweezer. That's what I think.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean,
That
we'll
was
get
a
to
big
Tweezer. We're
first-
probably gonna push 3/4 of tonight
I know.
to Tweezer.
But
But
agree. We got
the
to
Buried
first set was
Alive?
not
Alive?
anything to ignore. Buried Alive is the best opener.
And it won the bracket to prove it.
And it won the bracket, and it was great. Set
And
Your
then-
Soul Free, whatever.
It's
What
got
about
a good
that Reba
jam.
though?
Yeah, Trey didn't know what key it was in.
Yeah, but once they got into it, it was phenomenal, and
Well,
it's kind of just shows you he's needed the launch pad. But I saw Reba in 2019 flubs
Camden.
everywhere. This was no flubs. It was almost
But they
perfect. And
whistled.
missile.
They whistled both of those. The Camden they did too.
Yeah.
And if you whistle, Reba's good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You blew right past the fact that "Set Your Soul Free" was the first soul of tour, first soul song.
And you called me out on it, and I appreciate it. That's why I love you.
How
I
many
was
are
trying
there?
to get past Soul so fast.
I think like the first dog song would be a bigger deal than
I can spend a second or two on "Set Your Soul Free" because obviously, like I feel like the lyrics are speaking to like the very young, like people younger than us. Like, you know, when I was 22 and seeing PHISH, like "Set Your Soul Free" would have probably moved me as lyrics, but the jam's really good. I wanted to get that. I wanted to give it a little bit of a defense.
it sounds like the Medicine Man, Neho and the Medicine for the People lyrics.
They do a good job with that jam, though, and I feel like Trey, I don't know if it's because he's moved and inspired by it, but like all through the end of 3.0, the songs that everybody would like bitch and groan about, he always came out with the hottest jams, right? Like he was doing that with Soul Planet and Set Your Soul Free and Everything's Right, and all these songs that were like not exactly exciting at face value, but then they would result in incredible jams. And I think it was a way of, I don't know, sticking it to people, or if it was like, you know, or just because he loved those songs.
Yeah.
Llama,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm
Yeah.
doing really well.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Just want to
wanted
check in with you
say,
every once in a while.
I thought that thread in the first set was pretty good.
Yeah, so I am in fucking love with Thread. I think this is probably, I had mentioned that earlier tonight, my top 10 song, if not top 5, out of all PHISH songs, the whole catalog. And that's a crazy bold statement. And I get that's not how it's historically going to go down and not how a lot of other people feel. But for me personally, they just have figured it out. It was the best song on Sigma Oasis, I think. And I think they nailed it tonight. They were right on with it.
It actually made the top 10 of our 75 songs from PHISH albums. when we did
Really?
that.
On the Wook
Yes.
blog?
On the Wook blog.
Studio Cuts.
wookblog.com.
Hey, since we're doing admin stuff all of a sudden, I think this will be a good moment to break for a second. First of all, I just wanted to encourage all of you watching. First, I want to thank you, but go ahead and like this video and subscribe. We're trying to build this up. We started this channel right at the start of the pandemic, and now we're kind of getting the swing of things, and we've become very close friends, and we love doing this. But I think now that PHISH is back, we're looking to like step it up, and that kind of support really helps. Also, check out the website, wookplus.com. And if you want to win some tickets, I'm not calling it a contest because I don't know if there's any legal things involved, but through a series of circumstances outside of my control, I ended up with some extras, and I want to get back to all you guys. So if you're subscribe and comment in this video or the other two from this weekend, we're going to pick a couple of people to hand tickets out to. We're going to announce it on the after show for Nashville. But I'll probably reach out to you if you win right before that, so you're not caught off guard. I got tickets for Deer Creek and Hershey. So go ahead, subscribe, leave a comment. All right, carrying on.
We could back up to Reba. We never really dealt with
I know.
Oh, we could back up to Reba.
What do you think, Chad? What were your takeaway from Reba?
I was actually going to share with you something my brother said when we were listening to it, because it was pretty flawless, and he said that playing it with Tansky really paid off. Can't flub it when it's just you and a piano. So he thought that Trey's playing benefited a lot from playing with Tansky.
No, I think that's a brilliant takeaway, and I agree. I thought it was one of the cleaner versions we've heard this side of 1.0. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I think there were probably better versions, but in recent memory, I think it was a really clean, solid performance. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time on set one because it was a good set. It was a solid set, but then they just kind of like melted our faces and blew my mind in set two. Let's do it around the horn. If anybody had a note, their one thing they wanted to say about the first set that really stuck out, let's just do a catch-all. Mine was I liked where Gotta Jaboo went. It was like this really kind of fun, major, blissful jam that I wasn't expecting in that groove. It kind of went away from the main type 1 groove, and I don't know, it was put a smile on my face. So
cool. Kev?
I discovered that my friend, they did the ending tonight, so I looked it up, and the only time they don't do the ending is when they go into another song. So we got the ending tonight, which I love that we get it. And Llama and I were talking about it when the last one was, and it was
Alpine 2019.
Yes. So Llama saw that one.
You know what? Just real quick point, and then we can move on. And Llama, you can give your highlight or whatever of set one. I've been noticing the lack of segues in this tour. Like you were talking about, like my friend ending and not segueing into something else. The segueing has been really down. There's been no rip chords, except maybe you could argue Steam Caspian, but that was just an observation I had.
And they're long breaks too. It's not just like they like end and then start the next song. They're like it's like more of a traditional band. They stop for a few minutes, they look around. Trey's been talking more. That's a kind of a big departure from how they were before the break. And I wonder if that's going to stay that way or if it's just kind of a result of them getting back into it. And eventually by the end of tour, I wonder if it's going to get back into weaving these long segued sets together.
Right.
Well, we are 4 shows in. I guess by the time they get to Nashville, they're just going to take no prisoners.
Dude, did you think we'd be this far? They would be this locked in, only 4 shows in?
I was hoping Nashville was going to be the first hot. I wasn't hoping, but I figured it would be the first hot show of the tour because they would have had a few to warm up. But
I was thinking Dick's, honestly. I was hoping for Dick's. I was like, God, I hope they can like really lock in by Dick's. I did not expect this at all.
They broke out the lighter fluid. They just broke out the lighter fluid. They were like doing some Jimi Hendrix. Let's burn the place down.
Llama, what was your takeaway from set one?
I really enjoyed that thread. Like it was really good.
Fucking love you, Llama.
That was my takeaway.
Awesome.
My takeaway was 555. Say it with me. Never fucks.
Never fucks. It never fucks, Chad.
I have a new nickname for it. Set Killer. 555.
Can I ask you a question? How often does 555 fuck?
Never.
It never does. It never fucks. What was it?
Oh my God.
Yarmouth Road a couple of nights ago, Mike singing kind of fucked up the set, and then 555 fucked it. And I was like, you know what? I don't like Mike singing, but then Meat was a good example of a good Mike song. That was like, all right, I dig this. I loved that. So it's certain songs I don't want him to sing.
We go from Reba into My Friend, and like 2 of their better compositions, and then you drop me 555.
And then Kill Devil Falls.
I liked Kill Devil Falls. That was okay.
That was okay, but comeback after 555. Oh my God! But never Set Killer. Anyway, that was.
I think the placement was on purpose.
Oh yes, Llama. Give everybody your theory. I like this.
So they've been on the road now for 5 days. So it's the 5th day of touring. It's the 5th set of the weekend, and it's the 5th song in set 1. Those are 3 5s.
Get out your tinfoil hat, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it
Llama's
here
busting out his theories. That's actually kind of a cool coincidence, if not the actual reason.
Or
But-
Llama broke the code.
I know. And it's so funny because when I met Llama, I loved all those conspiracy theories. But recently, these conspiracy theories have made like a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel so bad because Llama is really good at it. All right. Set 2. Throw out
See the
set 1.
connection.
Throw out set 1. Set 2, we're just going to talk about more for a second. I'm going to bring in my brother Jason, who I'm sitting in his kitchen right now with these beautiful curtains.
If you're new to
Jason-
Wook Plus, Jason writes our theme music and various other compositions for the channel. So if you go back and watch Live or The Lot or LST
So
or anything, he wrote it.
I'm going to let Jason take my seat for 1 second, and he's going to tell you what he thought about more. This is okay. Here you
Am
go.
I going to regret this? I don't know.
Hey guys, how's
Hey,
it going?
Jason. How's it going?
Go Mallards. Oh, fuck Mallards. Inside joke. I think, and I really, really would like if Green Day covered more. That's my brother, everybody. That is a great take. We
Excellent.
We were listening to more and was like, could you imagine Green Day singing this song?
No.
It would be awesome. Well,
What
okay.
era Green Day?
Go ahead.
All right. So I always am super high at the end of the shows, both figuratively and literally. But I'm one of these, like, I don't know what the terminology is. People that whatever show I'm out of is the best show I've seen. Right? Like the last show I've seen was my favorite show.
Mm-hmm.
But this Tweezer, I swear to fucking God, I don't know, man. MSG, like Tahoe, like these guys might be stepping aside or at least being in the same conversation. It started good and it got better
It had one little lull.
for a half hour.
Right.
And it was spacey, but not boring. It was adventurous. And it was, I don't know. I'm super high on it, but I might watch this tomorrow and be like, "Oh, you idiot! It wasn't that good." What did you guys make of that Tweezer?
My notes that I took down, I said Mike went balls out. I thought with the stuff that if you go back and listen to it again, I don't know what minute mark it's at or whatever, but there's a section where Mike just goes absolutely apeshit, and I loved seeing him assert himself like that at that moment.
Well, and to the point of it being so good, I had a similar note, but I also then separately wrote a note about Paige and where he was driving it and the melodies he was teasing and directing. And I had a note about Trey and Esther. And by the end of it, all 4 of them had their moments. And that to me is the hallmark of an incredibly solid and, top-notch jam. They all kind of had those moments, I felt.
Yeah, and just to say one thing here is that, well, I'm going to say more than one thing, but
Please.
we know now that there will always be a 20-minute jam in the show because people are pledging $25 to Mockingbird Foundation if PHISH plays a 20-minute song.
Why
I
not
don't know if
25 minutes? I feel like 25 for 25 would be.
Or
I mean,
20
by
for
all
20,
means,
right.
I don't want to make it harder to donate. You should
Because
definitely donate.
2020 was a bad year, so it's
Right,
donations.
But isn't somebody cool on the $20 bill? Hamilton, maybe?
No,
dude, and not
actually,
cool.
no, not cool.
Wow, you guys are
All right,
missing
let's
the
just
point.
move on.
Yes.
Missing the point.
So I
So
think,
that we're gonna get a lot of jams this tour, is your point?
yeah.
You're going to get
And
a
you should
20-minute one
donate.
every show.
We're going to get all the jams.
You're going to get a 20-minute song every show.
I think we are likely going to get an Esther in Nashville because they teased it. It was clearly
Right.
there, right? And I think that's kind of like the setup. It's like they stumble upon it. Trey's like, "Oh, I wrote a song in this key." He teases it. It's on his head. He digests it, and then the next time they're on stage, he's like, "All right, let's do it." Did you guys hear
Woo.
that though? Like that was
did.
pretty pronounced.
I thought
right?
it was lizards at first. And then
Yeah, the tease I heard was Paige playing China Cat Sunflower. Did anybody else catch that?
they've been doing that the whole tour.
Yeah,
There's a
I
couple
heard
times.
Wentz say that. I didn't hear it, but I know he was
tweeted
saying it a
about
couple of
Yeah,
times.
2 nights ago I tweeted about it, and everybody keeps saying Rider. So I think it's that jam in the middle. They also did
Yeah,
a
the
Let It Grow
transition jam.
jam at
No,
one of the songs.
Again, when you listen back, Paige is playing din 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 din
That's because
He's playing
Phil's
straight
gonna be.
melody,
That's
kinda
because Phil's gonna be in Nashville. Phil's playing Nashville tonight. He's just gonna hang out and then play with Fish because he's got to one up Bobby from 2018.
Come back after the Nashville show, and we'll find out how many of our predictions are right.
When you listen back to the show, listen for it. It's there. If anybody in the chat wants to back me up, and I'm sorry our chat comments aren't coming up right now. We're short a producer. So
yeah, where the fuck's T?
So Llama, what do you think of that tweezer?
I read the comment and I didn't realize it was fucking fam. I'm sorry. Llama, what'd you think?
I thought that Tweezer was really good. Definitely the best of 4.0. Probably the best jam of 4.0. I'm gonna go out on a limb and probably say it'll be the jam of like the tour.
Big.
I think
there were no weak moments though. Like
yeah.
Coming back down to earth, like I'm gonna get away from the comparing it to past shows and everything, but just looking at it objectively, it was a very consistently good jam for 30 plus minutes. Right? Like I don't think there was ever a point where I was like, oh, hold it together. There was no point where I was like, oh, he's gonna ripcord. Right? They were constantly driving forward. They were all bringing something to the table and they were receptive. Right? There was a point where Paige started dropping in a new melody line and Trey picked it up right away. And then Fish started hitting his China and accenting it and switched the groove to fit the melody that Paige introduced. The whole time it was just great communication. It was very good.
Yeah, that's Paige takes when they let Paige go solo in the middle there, and he went off. When they came out of it, the guys started coming back in sort of one at a time. I wrote down Herbie Hancock because it sounded like it had that like soul deep fusion feel that I really haven't heard from them. And I know they're improvising, but they were deep into that fusion sound, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kev, do you have any more Tweezer?
Oh, I had a good time with that. You know, it was funny. I was sitting there listening to it, and it's Paige's sci-fi keyboard is like, I think, changing everything because there's a whole nother layer going on instead of him just playing piano, which is basically an acoustic instrument with a guitar and a bass, which are acoustic instruments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I know what you're saying.
I think there'll be plenty of people on Twitter breaking it down like moment by moment. You know what I'm saying? Like not minute by minute, but you know what I'm saying? Like I think that
section by section.
We know what you're saying.
Section by section, yeah.
Well, you know who should do that is Fam, because he is a genius at breaking down songs into cool little witty things. He's wittier than I am.
All right, I'm gonna keep moving on. Tweezer was badass. Listen to it if you didn't. I'm gonna listen to it a few more times, I think, in the next day or two. Twist.
Oh, wait, I have one more question about Tweezer.
Okay.
There was a very pronounced sample solo in there from Mr. Fishman. I felt like it fit the song.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pro sample, so I'm on that side of that debate.
But I mean, even if you're pro sample, there's times where it's just funny when he does it. But this one, it actually felt like it was. He was like, "Oh, here's a spot for this in the song,"
and it jacked the energy up too, right? Like it brought it to another level.
Yeah, and if he keeps using the samples like that, I think it's a wonderful tool.
Cool.
Agreed.
When the only tool you have is a sampler, everything looks like a nail.
Twist, Piper, Farmhouse. We had some
Farmhouse songs.
late 1.0. Everybody was spent, so Trey was just like, you know what? Just lay back in the bed. I'm gonna go clean off, and you know. Basically, that's what the middle of the set was. It was like, all right, everybody's just chill. Like we just had a great
Piper
Tweezer.
Was so fast. It was like
amphetamine
Piper.
It was cheap Piper. No, it's great.
They're like, oh, you like Blue Bill Piper? Sorry.
on a personal note, today is actually my anniversary. We celebrated last night. So, and Waste was, I know it's so cliche, but Waste was our wedding song. So my wife and I were watching the show. So we had a moment during Waste. Fucking, aside from all the personal stuff, still think it is one of the most romantic and beautiful ballads by any band. And I've heard things that it wasn't actually written as a romantic ballad, that it was like a song to the crowd and to the fans, but still within the context of the romantic ballad, I think it is a phenomenal romantic ballad. Yeah, and then fucking First Two close out the set.
Yep. Full Jedi. I was listening on Sirius XM tonight. I wasn't watching it. I'm kind of bummed I missed the lights for First Two. How was it?
Really good.
The lights have been killer like all tour, but they were exceptionally good this set.
Yeah, I agree. The second set tonight.
I was talking to Lope earlier, and he said it was very 80s, which is exactly what I was thinking. It looks like sometimes the lights look like you'd see in an old MTV video with the smoke in the back.
LEDs didn't even exist in the 80s. I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's no light rig in the 80s that can do what that light rig does.
You're totally missing the point. Like the point's here, you're like going this way over here, but that's cool.
The point you're
man.
The point is, it looks like they used to have light bulbs that they screwed in lines, like along the back of a stage, and that's what it looked like when the LED bars are all back there behind them. You used to screw bunches of light bulbs in, and that's how you got like a whole line of lights on the stage.
I understand that, but could you make those lights change colors and move?
But that's not the point. The point was that
I'm leaning into this because this is what makes Wook Plus different than the other guys. And we're not going to name names, but
if you took a picture
this kind of tangent is exactly what you get at Wook Plus.
If I go take a picture,
we just dropped like 20 viewers, by the way.
1980s video from MTV.
Keep going,
take a picture of it. It'll look the same if you took a picture of PHISH. Not with the lights changing or anything, just the way.
Okay. I challenge you to do that.
Well, I don't know if I will or not. I'm going to Nashville.
This is not true anyway.
No, it is.
All right, guys. So,
okay.
Doing it tonight.
Sleeping Monkey reprise. Perfect way to end it. It was a very appropriate encore. Nothing special. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to remind everybody, like, subscribe, win some tickets. I'll reach out to you. And if I don't tune in, the Nashville after show, we'll announce it live so you can find out there. Also, if you're going to AC, we will be live and in person at the fan art show on Saturday night. Well, it's actually Saturday afternoon. So come check out our table. We'll have some stickers and other free shit you can grab. Just come say hi. Kevin and I will be there with some awesome guests. And then Dick's, we're all going to be at Dick's, I think, or at least the vast majority of us, hopefully, will make it out to Dick's. So.
We're gonna be outside live for that one. That will be the most interesting lot ever.
It's gonna be badass, dude. I'm so happy Fish is back. We started a fucking Fish channel while Fish was off, and it was a little uncomfortable. But Fish is back, and then man, are they fucking awesome? They're nailing it.
Good job.
Any last words?
Yeah, I won't see you guys till maybe Friday night. Everybody out there, because I'll be in Nashville. I'm going to try to call in, but it worked for Fam for a few minutes, so maybe I can get a few minutes.
Yeah,
like when he tried to call from Arkansas.
I love you all.
Thank you to Team Chat. We read them.
You guys are the best. Bye.